We all know we have our good, our bad, and ugly siege battle games. A lot of people are wondering, what does it take to score higher in siege battles? So today, by special request from a few subs of mine, I will be breaking down how to score higher in siege battles. Before we jump in, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button to show some love. Here I come to ruin your day. Alright, so really quick, right in the beginning, make sure you don't bring your units up on the walls unless you know they won't get hit by cannon fire. Second, jump onto an artillery component as soon as possible and try to take out their cannons or even their siege towers before they get to your walls. Third, you're gonna wanna check your walls and make sure the enemy is not climbing up on ladders to get easy access to maybe a supply point or even to attack archers that are in the back. So make sure you're keeping an eye on your walls, ladders. Alright, so when you have archers set up on the walls, make sure you put a good distance between entry points from siege towers or gates, so they have enough time to react to the enemies coming through the gates. So as you can see here, like, I was able to be far enough back so they couldn't get to me, but I was right there to give them plenty of damage. It kind of kept them off me because they knew if they came at me, they would not survive. So like creating that gap also creates survivability. Especially if you're a squishy character like a archer like I am, or bow slash short bow. So make sure to keep that in consideration when you're setting up archers, that you're putting them in a location where enemies can't get to them easily, but they're still effective. If you end up in the line of sight of a dual blade and you're by yourself and you're squishy, get the hell out of there. They can go invisible and you will have no idea where they're going to attack from. Just make sure that you create a huge distance between you and the dual blade. There's really no reason to try and fight them unless you're tanky and you can handle that. But besides that, do not get stuck fighting a dual blade when you're squishy. Alright, so once you start getting weak at holding the walls, you should actually move to the point and try to hold that best as possible. You should probably even swap out units to use anything that can hold it, like spear sergeants or shields or Tesserags or Iron Reapers. Anything along those lines will be beneficial on having on a point because they're hard to take. Even Imperial Pikes are great because they can push people off the point. So make sure that you are focusing on the points once the walls are lost. Alright, so when you're at your point and I mean they're shielded up really well and you can't really get through, pay attention to the troops around you, because once there's no troops, they're just gonna focus you, and then obviously you're out of the game. Kind of like what just happened here. Like, I lost track of where all the troops were, and I was just like, oh, I'm by myself, and poof, I died. So try to pay attention to how many troops are still fighting alongside you. Don't end up alone. Alright, so another tip is when you are dead, you should be strategizing like what you should be trying to do next. Like, you should see where your enemy's at, where they're pushing, what position you might want to take on where they're moving to. So when you're dead, you're like, there's nothing else to do except for look at the map and see what you can do next. So make sure you take advantage of that. Alright, one thing I can't stress enough is that this is a team game. You have to win as a team. I mean, when there's someone with a ton of T5 units, yes, that helps a ton. But like, if he has no help, then he's still not going to win. So when you see big units, like big T5 or T4 units coming in that could be pretty devastating on a point, make sure you call it out. Tell your allies what's happening if they can't see it. Like, I was able to see these Iron Reapers over the wall before they came into the main gate, so I warned them. What they do with that information is totally up to them, but at least I gave them the information. If they have no idea, then they can't prepare at all. So better to say something than nothing. Alright, so when you pull out your T4 or T5 units, and you're ready to kick some ass, make sure you do it strategically. You do not want to waste these units too early in the matchup. You might need them at the final point. So it's okay to bring them out, try to do some damage, and then maybe bring them back. But do not waste them early in the matchup is my only request to you. A quick tip for the Riverlands castle map is do not place archers on the giant stairs by the final point. Reason why is they will trap your archers to hell. Another tip, do not waste your trap shot on something stupid. Like, kind of like what this is. I see what they were trying to do, but it did not work at all. They should have noticed that it wasn't going to hit. So make sure to save it for the final point if you can. If you need it for a point earlier just so you can get to the final point, that's fine too, but do not waste it. Make sure to try to use it to get as many unit kills as possible or to clear a point. Alright, let's talk about choke points. I mean, they are super effective. All you need to do is make sure that you are using the correct units for the choke points. So like pikemen are really good for it. Shield walls, spear sergeants, having javelins behind is really good too, and archers. So really, if you're gonna create a choke point, do it right. Don't just put units there and expect it to work. It's definitely based on the units that you put in the position. Also, make sure if there's two entries to the final point, you're paying attention to both. Because, I mean, the worst thing to happen is you have your enemy just coming up right behind you and destroying everything you set up. So make sure you are paying attention to your map. Now that I've gone over a few tips for siege battles, now let's go over the scoring system. Alright, so there are 5 key components to Siege Battle's scoring system. The 5 are kills and assists, unit kills, participation, damage given, and damage taken. Each of these equal 20%, and that will equal up to 100% of your score. Alright, so after you're done with your Siege Battle, you'll be able to go to your team stat page and you'll be able to click on your name, and then you'll have your battle score sheet right there, and it pretty much has all the information you need to figure out why you scored, where you scored, and you can compare to other people so you can understand how the system works. Alright, so those are all the tips and the scoring system for Siege that I wanted to go over today. Thank you guys for watching. This week I want to do a contest on whoever sends in the best tips for Siege in my comments that I miss. I would like to send you a promo code for one of these 3 items. So feel free to send in those comments. I look forward to reading them. I hope you guys have a good day. Happy hunting.